Hey up lads and lasses, how's they doing? Back with another video. This is a two-parter. For this video I'm going to be covering my 2018 predictions, which I've still got written down here, going through what I predicted for last year and what I got right and wrong. And then the next part will be for this year, 2019. So without further ado, let's do this shit. So last year, we'll start with first stuff. I predicted, well, the 34 street decks that we knew would come in for the 1 and 6th, Cascade, 3, 2, 4, 50, 60, 6, 3, 6, 6 to 7, 3, back to Bramley with 3, 7, 0, 3, 4, 3, 5, 6, 9, 12, 13, 6, 6, 7, 15, 88, and 3, 7, 0, 21 to 27 to Huddersfield, with 3, 2, 6, 9, 7 going to Halifax. That didn't happen. 3, 2, 4, 15 is still at Hunslet. Trust me, I know, it's one of my stalkers. 60 is now at Bradford. 6, 6 to 7, 3 went back to Bramley, but most of them are at Huddersfield. I think 6, 2, 6, 4 and 6, 6 are still here. Something like that. 3, 7, 0, 3, 4 and 5 did go to Bradford. And 6, 9, 12 to 13 went there quite recently, so that one's correct. 6, 6, 7, 15 and 88 are still with us, as far as I know, as well as 3, 7, 0, 21 to 27. And 3, 2, 6, 9, 7 is also still with us. I predicted that Bramley would withdraw 6, 0, 1, 7, 2, 6, 0, 6, 6 and 7. 602, 12 to 14, and the remaining 610s floor lines at the time, which did all indeed come true. 6, 6 and 6, 7 were the ones that were left. They were the ones that held out the longest and have now been preserved. Let me straighten that. Oh, there we go. That's a lot better, isn't it? How are you doing? So yeah, they're preserved. The rest of them did go for withdrawal and I believe scrap. Could be wrong. I then predicted that 70 Scania CNG biogas Enviro 400 cities would arrive. 22 for Hunslet for the 7 Series and 48 for Bramley for the guided routes there, which haven't happened yet. So I predicted with those arriving, the hybrids would go on the 33s, the Gemini 2s onto the 42s, in turn replacing 370, 36 to 44 and 60 to 62 over to Bradford, and 37123 to 32 to Halifax for 508s, and then 35202 to 09 to repaint it green for uni routes, which hasn't exactly happened. The B9s did go over to Halifax. I think there's only 26 left, which is undergoing some maintenance work and repairs. We've still got all the other ones, I believe. 36 and 37 we've got. 38 to 41 did go to Bradford though, so that was correct. And the street decks are still Olympia livery because we got 68 plates in as well, so that was incorrect. 324, 31 to 52 and 60 to 73 were to be transferred and split between Bradford, Halifax and Huddersfield to replace the LX 400s. I've just said some are at Huddersfield, but the rest have not moved yet. 37645 to 66 could have their guide wheels removed. And the B7Ls and the Solars and the B6 cascaded out. The B60s got withdrawn. We still have all the other stuff, and the B9s are still guided. For the park and rides, I predicted 7 Optare Metrodecker EVs following the trial in 2017. For the PR1, PR2, releasing 36276 to 78 for service and 352 10 to 13 as well, which were also to be repainted green for the uni routes, which didn't happen. We got street deck hybrids for both of those routes. The B9s went to Sheffield, still in Earlham Road branding, but I think that's since been removed. And the street decks are still sort of branded, but just on normal service. So they're still in Olympia. I also said that 37668 to 72 would be painted into the blue gold livery for the X98, X99, which hasn't happened. And 37673 to be painted into a heritage livery, which will be covered up for a later reveal, which also didn't happen. 37668 and 70 moved to Bradford for school services mostly, but they've been here in Leeds, so you know. The rest are still here. The current heritage buses have moved to Bramley though, so it makes me wonder if the rest might move. We don't know. So on the 24th of June, I was hoping that Onza would host their first open day, celebrating their 10th year of operation, which they didn't. 37673 would be revealed in Leeds Tramways livery, celebrating 180 years of Leeds buses, which didn't happen. And then it would have a few buses parked up for like photo shoots and things like that, and then a shuttle from Leeds to the depot, as well as having the other heritage vehicles from the other depots all posted together in a lineup. That didn't happen. So that's what I predicted with first. So some of it was correct, and some of it didn't happen at all. Yeah, a lot of the street decks, actually, we got a lot of 68 plate ones, 60 altogether, or 62 altogether, I think. So nobody knew they were coming until a lot later on in the year. So they've come in various different colours of blues and reds. So didn't predict that at all. They've moved a lot of stuff around, a lot of 362s cascaded to other cities as well. Sheffield got a load. Swansea, no, they got the first lot. Norwich got some, I think. Bristol, I think, got some. Can't remember now. A lot went everywhere. We've got like a third of them left now out for all the ones that we had. So moving on to Arriva, predicted some new vehicles arriving in the form of 10 E400 MMCs and the same spec as the 254s and that for the 229s, for the VDLs to go into the 268s and them E400s to be spare vehicles into the new livery to be used pretty much anywhere, replacing Lowlanders. New E200 MMCs to replace the 1100s as well, for 209s, 220s, 223s and things like that, as well as some for the 757s for making Leeds Euro 6 cascading the Versas. None of that happened. We've got no new vehicles because they are focusing on upgrading current vehicles so they can be used in Leeds. So none of that happened. I think Tiger's got 2 extra vehicles which were refurbished, 1410 and 621. But other than that, none of that came true. Moving on to Transdev, new Versas for Rosso, which we did know about, including a route identity for the 464, which is true. They got 2-tone pink-purple ones as well as the Pride and North ones. The 464 may be renumbered, which it didn't. And branding for 467, 468, which may get renumbered, which they didn't. But they do have, I want to say Tottenham line, but I don't think that's it. Is it something else? Is it the Irwell line? Or tracks? They have just announced something towards the end of 2018 for those routes, so that did come true. I'm not sure what vehicles are being used or anything, but I was right with that. I predicted a service reshuffle for the Rosso services, possibly under Rosso Rover brand, which didn't happen. The older vehicles withdrawn and then new vehicles refurbished, which didn't happen either. But they did get a lot of vehicles cascaded over to them, some from Coastline and some from York, which is the opposite to what I predicted. I was expecting vehicles from Rosso to go to York, but instead it was the other way around. I think we got the little Explorer Darts, which was quite a surprise. Speaking of York, the official York and Country brand was officially launched, which it hasn't. Once the fleet was repainted, they've got one bus in the correct livery. So that's still to be done. 422 to 429 are replaced with new vehicles, 36, 42 to 49, which they've got 3, replacing 422 to 424, but they also lost 422, 6, 7 and 8, I think. Not sure. The 11 Regis through painted into Pride and North, which they didn't. They stayed in Coastliner and used at Rosa. 4259 to transfer to Keighley for the Dales Road, replacing the Versus. They haven't. They've gone to Rosa, so that didn't happen. The airline would increase to every 20 minutes Monday to Saturday daytime because they're quite busy, which didn't happen. They would use the Dales Way vehicles 238, 239, 241, which have stayed put. The X43s to be upgraded to new vehicles, which they haven't. So that would in turn replace cascade the B9s over to Blackburn and York to retire the odd 36s on Citysap and Red Express, which hasn't happened. Either York or Rosa to host the open day. We did not get an open day at all last year, which was quite surprising. The new electrics for Harrogate, we knew they were coming, but I predicted them to be 7900 to 7909, being that's what the vehicles are. They got 801 to 808 or something like that. And the Versus to move to York to replace Renowns, which one or two have gone over, but the rest are still in Harrogate at the moment. Just because of the issues that they had with the electrics when they first come. I think they're still working on that. They've got a diesel generator powering the electric buses, which hasn't gone down too well. And you can still only charge 2 buses at a time instead of 3. So I think that's still something they're working on, but they'll get there, I reckon. So that's Transitive side. Moving on to Nintendo. Some new games, first and third party ones to be released as announced. Things like Smash, Super Mario Party, things like that. All those came out. A new line of Amiibo. They only really announced ones for Smash. Basically ones that haven't, characters in Smash that haven't got Amiibo yet. Have got Amiibo announced, which are coming out this year, so 50-50 true and false. Expected a Mario Kart Tour Direct, that's the mobile Mario Kart game. We've not had any information on that at all last year, whereas I was expecting some information, a release date and the cost and things like that, but we've had no information at all for that. Some new hardware announced, possibly maybe a phone or a VR for the Switch, or another iteration of the Switch, like a mini Switch. We've had none of that. The 2DS, 3DS family of systems to stop production last year, with the exceptions for the special editions, which they bring out every now and again. They're still continuing with those, they're still doing well. The games are still selling well, so it looks like they're still continuing. And I said that the games would gradually stop, with the focus being on the Switch going into this year, which doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. They're still happily selling 2DS, 3DS games and systems with no looks to stopping anytime soon, so that's good. Moving on to Samsung. New colours for the Note 8 and Plus, which I don't think we got any new colours. I think we just got what we got at the launch. I think from September the year before, something like that. Yeah. The S9 and the S9 Plus gets announced and released, which did happen. The A series to get a new line of models for 2018, which we got the A7 and the A9 or something like that. So we did get that. And a new gear product, either a watch or some headphones. We got the Samsung Galaxy Watch. So that came true. And then a bit for Pixie. She'll release some more singles and an album towards the end of the year, including Baby and Won't Forget You from the year previous, and a new Christmas track. We did get a new Christmas track, unofficial one. I think she did a cover of Walking in the Winter Wonderland. I think I'm going to have to research that one. And maybe an announcement for this year for some sort of special CD or something, celebrating 10 years of her music from 2009 when Mamadou first came out. Maybe some of the best hits. Not heard anything about that, but she is working on her next album, so that could be something for this year. I think that's everything from last year. Stay tuned for part 2, where I'll be talking about predictions for this year. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hi, Plaid. Out.